Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, maybe not, well, I don't know about all ages. This is Moose After Dark. It's looking a little dark. Let me know in the chat room if you can see me, and we'll get going. Today's guest cat for our live stream is Teeny Treasure Chest. Teeny Treasure Chest has heart-shaped glasses and a pile of gold. A pile of gold, of course, is something you might need if you need to retain criminal counsel for a legal proceeding. Oh my gosh, guys. Is everybody there? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to turn my headphones up. Oh my gosh. I just watched Omar and Lauren and Schnitzel Ninja read through this document, but I was having so much fun in the comments section that I wasn't paying too close attention. So we're going to read it again, because why not? Let's just read it again. Now, what are we reading here, guys? We are reading the newly released on Reddit search warrant police report in the, I was going to call it the Owens v. Eckerd paternity case, but that's over, guys. It's done. We're on to the Owens criminal case. Yeah. So we're just going to relax and take our time and think things through. We don't want to lose critical perspective. We want to go through this document and see what we can learn. Okay. It's crazy. I've been working all day. I'm tired, but we got to read it. Let me find my window here. Okay, here it is. Everybody's in the chat. Sarah loves butter. Oh yeah, that's true. These could be sticks of butter instead of gold. I feel like for a cat, it's probably, I want to move if I move over here, well, there's more, that light is all weird. Do I want to be here? I want to be more here. Yeah, butter. Anyway, butter. I won a bet once. Do you know when you go to a restaurant, you get those little tiny butters with the foil wrapper? I won a bet once because I just unwrapped one and ate it, because this guy thought I wouldn't just eat a little thing of butter by itself. But I'm from Wisconsin originally, so of course I'm going to eat the butter. I mean, come on. Anyway, that's where we are. Let's find, where am I? What am I doing? Let's find this document, guys. Here it is. So this broke on Reddit, and I saw it in the Dave Fan Discord. Justice for Clayton subreddit, January 29th, 2025, search warrant police report, CR 2025-006831-001. I'm sure these numbers are very important. In any case, yeah, maybe I think it would actually, Stephanie B says Owens v. Arizona, but I think it would be Arizona v. Owens, actually, since she is facing 7 indictments, criminal indictments in the state of Arizona in Maricopa County. So that's where we are. Let's get this guy rolling. And then if you go to Reddit and check this out, because there's a good little recap here. People are already commenting. Pretty amazing. Maybe we can read some of the comments. But this is the actual linked police report from the top of that Reddit post. There's a tiny link right here. You got to find it at the top and click it, and you can get this PDF. Okay, so we've got a bunch of reports. The first one here is a department report. Okay, and this, again, January 29th, 2025. And somebody in chat had asked, when did the Ron Owens, that's Laura Owens' father, when did he start his GoFundMe fundraiser? Did they do that after this event? And the answer is no. They actually created that on December 31st, 2024 over here. So we went and checked that out. Investigation continues. Okay. So that's what we've got. This department report was written up by Baron Fulp, officer number 1428. Okay, there we go. Let's get into it. All right. Is everybody good in the chat? Let me know what you guys are eating or drinking or, I don't know, doing. On January 29th, 2025, I was working in my capacity as a special assignments unit detective. On this day, SAU. Okay. And somebody remind me SAU. I think it's the special something unit. What was it? Assignment unit. Special Assignment Unit, was tasked with assistance with the search warrant from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. Okay. That's called MCAO. So we'll see that acronym a bunch of times. Actually, if you say MCAO, it's an initialization. If you say it like a word, it's an acronym like SCUBA or NASA. But if you say the letters like FBI, it's an initialization. So the MCAO search warrant signed by, we've got a judge, Honorable Tara Prochko. Okay, so we've got a new judge here signing the search warrant. That's exciting. Was for the property and evidence at this particular address. MCAO provided a search warrant brief that explained a subject identified as Laura Owens was residing at a home located in the rear of this property, I guess. MCAO detectives further explained that there was probable cause for Miss Owens' arrest for perjury, tampering with evidence, and theft by extortion. Wow. I wonder if theft by extortion is related to the first criminal indictment, because there are 7, and 2 through 7 are really related to perjury and tampering with evidence and things like that. But the first one is more about, fraud and to gain some sort of advantage. And that could be this theft by extortion. It should be noted that although there was probable cause to arrest Miss Owens, SAU was simply tasked with securing the location and briefly detaining Miss Owens, so MCAO law enforcement officers could conduct a search of the listed residences for evidence. And they don't list here so far what type of evidence they're either looking for or that they actually obtained. So we are keen to see if there are any hints in here about that. That's what we're looking for. Okay. And then Amy says that time that she threatened Clayton with a lawsuit if he didn't drop the charges. That's right. So that was one case that was very suspicious. She sent Clayton and Clayton's attorney an email before the final evidentiary hearing saying, hey, if you don't drop this case, I'm going to sue you for a whole bunch of money related to this real estate deal. And that was seen as sort of an extortion mechanism. And we'll have to see if count 1 in the indictments is related to that or related to something else. I've speculated it could be related to something more financial, like, she did go purchase property. She claimed she had $450,000 in a money market account. I thought maybe it could be related to that, but we will see. Okay. At 600 hours, 6 a.m., guys. And, in Maricopa County, I don't know, they're sort of on Mountain Standard Time, but sometimes they're on the same time zone as Pacific Time because of daylight savings. But I think at this point in time, they're an hour ahead of Pacific Time, I believe. I think in the summertime, it's the same. In any case, I attended a search warrant brief. In the brief, it was noted that Miss Owens' 2 elderly parents were residing in the main house, and Miss Owens was residing in the casita located in the backyard of the property. Very good. It should be noted that all SAU detectives, including myself, wore standard issue gray SAU uniforms with police tactical vests. Safety first, guys. Safety first. Displaying police lettering on the front and the back. That's good. I was also equipped with an activated on-body camera that captured my involvement in this incident. The following SAU detectives were involved in this search warrant. And then there's a huge list. How many detectives do we have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my gosh, that's 11. Does that include this guy, Philip? I don't think so. So I think that's like 12. So we've got a dozen detectives or sergeants here. That is a lot of staff. That's a lot of people. Okay. That's a lot of people to search a small casita. But anyway, I arrived on scene via my semi-marked police vehicle at approximately 6:45. Oh, okay. So it took him. Okay, so he went to the search warrant brief, and then 45 minutes later, they arrived on scene. Okay, I was the third operator within the entry team of the main house. All right. At approximately 6:47, Detective Buckner provided multiple knock and announce commands. After multiple rounds of the knock and announce commands, Miss Owens' mother reluctantly answered the door. Oh no, she was reluctant. Oh my gosh. 6:47, like over here, I'm doing yard work by 6:47, guys. I don't know what these guys were doing. At approximately 6:50 hours, I assisted with the entry and clear of the main structure. It should be noted that during the clear, I did not break anything or come into direct contact with any individuals. Oh, this is important. Okay, so they're not breaking the windows or breaking the door, kicking the door down yet. Okay, very peaceful. This is good. Once the main structure was cleared, I heard SU detectives came into contact with Miss Owens and the back casita, and she was refusing to exit. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Refusing to exit. Let's Stephanie B says, I'm telling my girls to go back to sleep until 7 at 6:47. I mean, kids need to sleep in. Isn't that a thing, like psychologically for brain development? They want kids to sleep in. IT Goatee Brad is here. Hello, Brad. Let's see. How'd that get there? Did I put that there? Anyway, let's see. What's this? Linda says, would they have taken Jan's cell phone too? That's a good question. I am not sure about that. It is possible, but I suspect maybe not. Because if the search warrant was specifically around Laura, they were probably looking for phones, tablets, and laptops that Laura would have used as opposed to somebody else's personal cell phone. But it's always a possibility. But my guess is no. Let's see. All right. I don't know. And guys, if you have a question, put like a Q or a question mark or something at the start of the sentence, and I'll try to capture your question as I read through this, because otherwise it's hard to see the questions. Let's see. We were here where she was refusing to exit. Upon hearing this, I exited the main structure and walked to the casita, where I assisted with securing the outside of the structure. Very good. SAU detectives eventually were able to coerce Miss Owens out of the casita. Oh boy. And I observed Detective Crown escort Miss Owens into the main structure. Okay, that's good. As Miss Owens was being escorted, she continued to complain about the police presence and state she was being unreasonably assaulted by police. I mean, oh boy. I mean, if you just do what they say, if you come out of the door and go into the other building, then nobody's going to even have to touch you. So I don't know why she's complaining about being assaulted. That unreasonably assaulted by the police. She seems unreasonable. I don't know. From my vantage point, I did not see Detective Crown forcibly escort Miss Owens into the structure, nor did I see Detective Crown use any force, despite allegations from Miss Owens. And in any case, if you don't do what they say, they will use force. And that's not unreasonable assault. That is a police officer doing their job. Oh my gosh. Schnitzel Ninja is here. Hello, hello. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, if somebody wants a link, hit me in Discord, I guess. I don't know how to share it, but I could try. At approximately 6:55, the residence was secure for MCAO detectives and the scene was turned over to them. Okay, that's good. So this is interesting. So let's see. This guy arrives at 6:45 and 10 minutes later they have secured the casita. Okay. And oh, actually, it's even less than 10 minutes because it's 6:47 when they're doing the knock and announce commands. So they're at the front door of the main house at 6:47. By 6:55, they have secured the casita. Okay, this is the timeline here is interesting, at least to me. All right. What am I doing here? We're doing things. Yeah, it's a little dark in here. I need a ring light, guys. Okay, so we've got yeah, this concludes my involvement in the matter. All right, sounds good. Offense 1. Okay, we've got what do we got here? We've got a supervisor. Oh, this is Michael Blasco supervisor signature. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is just form letter stuff. I don't think there's anything interesting here. Let's just take a look real quick. We've got a residence / home. This is fine. We've got okay, been at location since November 1st, 2023. That's fine. Okay. Search warrant, Owens PDF. That's fine. Okay. Let's go to supplements. We're going to the supplements, guys. January 29th, 2025. Brandon Buckner. All right. January 29th, 2025. I was acting in the capacity of detective in the SAU Special Assignments Unit. Okay. When I attended a briefing, 600 hours, we saw that before, in reference to a residential search warrant. Okay, SAU is requested by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office to serve the search warrant in reference to a perjury, tampering with evidence, and theft by extortion investigation. Suspect in the case was identified at a residence with elderly parents, Jan and Ron. Information was that Laura stayed in a casita located in the back of the residence. After attending the briefing, I drove my unmarked vehicle to the above listed address. I was dressed in my gray and black uniform with ballistic vest displaying police on the front and back and equipped with a body worn camera, BWC. Okay, so if we see BWC, that's body worn camera. At approximately 6:47 hours, I approached the front door along with other members of the SAU, ringing the Ring camera doorbell and knocking loudly, announcing police search warrant, open the door. I repeated this multiple times, giving names of the occupants inside to open the door. Very good. A very short time later, I heard a female voice from inside asking who it was. Again, I identified myself, telling her to look at her camera to verify who was the police. That's very good. Yeah, if you have this Ring camera, go ahead and take a look. Let's see. After a short verbal exchange through the door, an elderly female opened the door at approximately 6:49 hours. Oh my gosh! And then 6 minutes later, they had the casita secured. Amazing. Who I believe to be Jan. She indicated that she was inside with her husband Ron, and that Laura was in the back casita. We entered the residence, and I gave loud announcements to Ron that it was the police, and we had a search warrant. Very good. All right. Let's see. I could hear a voice from a back bedroom and proceeded to the room, turning on lights as I went. Okay, a voice. Who is this? Inside of the room, I observed Ron sitting in bed. Oh, okay. So Ron is the voice from the back room. Ron appeared frail, and he explained that he had cancer. While speaking to Ron, I heard over the radio that SAU personnel were in contact with Laura in the casita, but she initially refused to come out. I wonder if you can get there by going around the side. I don't remember, that from the wellness check body cams, but maybe somebody in chat remembers, because it doesn't. Maybe or maybe when they went in, people went through quickly. I'm not sure. After a few minutes, she exited and was escorted inside the living room. Ron also requested to go to the living room with his wife. Okay, so Ron requested to go to the living room with his wife. I assisted Ron in getting him dressed and providing his walker. Okay, he was assisted into the living room where he sat in a chair. Very good. The scene was turned over to the investigators from MCAO, and I had no further involvement in this case. NFI. Very good. All right. Kathy Williams says, "Is Parkinson's the same as cancer?" No, those are two different things. But you could have both. It's possible to have both, but they're not the same thing. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, but that's my understanding. Okay. Let's go on to supplement 2. Okay, we've got some more stuff here. Apparently, this is Kyle Swan, Officer 1440. That's a great name, Kyle Swan, Officer on Duty. All right. On January 29, 2025, at approximately 600 hours, I was working as a detective with the Scottsdale Police Department Special Assignments Unit, wearing our issued gray uniform and issued gray plate carriers with police on the front and Special Assignment Unit on the back. Okay, so he has the SAU badge on the back of his uniform. That's interesting. I was driving an unmarked vehicle equipped with red and blue emergency lights and a siren. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Cat Lady has a question. Did anyone notice that Ron was apparently fine ambulating with a walker, but then Laura screamed he can't walk? Okay, we'll get to that. That's why it's very interesting. I know a lot, guys. I know a lot of the information in some of this is boilerplate, and it's the same across these reports. But that's why we want to look at all of them to see if there's anything in there that is sort of cross-listed that we can learn more in terms of figuring things out. Okay, I attended a search warrant briefing with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the other members of SAU. I learned that SAU was asked to assist in the service of a search warrant on the residence. The residence consisted of a main house and a casita on a large property. There was probable cause for the arrest of Laura Owens, who lived in the casita located just north of the main house, but MCAO requested to not physically arrest Laura. Laura's parents, Ron and Jan, lived in the main house. Okay, so MCAO, they don't want to just drag her off to jail to wait for an arraignment or something like that. After the briefing, I drove to the residence with the other members of SAU and arrived on the property at approximately 6:47 hours. Fair. Detectives knocked on the front door, identified ourselves as the police, and advised we were there for a search warrant. An elderly female answered the door after some hesitation and questions. We made entry into the residence at approximately 6:55 hours. I checked the garage and garage closet and did not locate any other person. Okay, that's interesting. So this guy may have been outside for a little bit or was looking at the garage. So he may not have gone into the main residence until a few minutes later. So this is interesting. So with all these people, they had like 12 people there. They can all be checking different areas of the property at the same time in parallel. I exited the main house's rear sliding glass door and walked to the casita, where SAU detectives were conversing with a female inside the casita. Okay, that's interesting. So she's still inside at this point. The female was identified as Laura. Laura was arguing with detectives behind a slightly open sliding glass door. Laura refused to comply with commands. Never do, guys. Always comply with the commands. And once you have determined that you are talking to legitimate police officers, of course, and stated she was calling her lawyer. Laura shut the sliding glass door, locked it, and then walked to her bed. Oh, that's probably where her phone was. I left, or on a nightstand or something. I left the area to obtain breaching tools. Guys, breaching tools have entered the investigation. Oh my gosh. Let me see if there's more questions happening here. Kelly says search warrant briefing would be a good band name. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it? Wow, a good punk rock. Punk rock? What genre? I think punk rock. Okay. As I walked back to the casita, Laura had complied with commands. Oh, that's good. And SAU detectives escorted her into the main house. That's good. Okay, so breaching tools. Slow your roll. We don't need them quite yet. Okay, I made entry into the casita and checked the living area and found no additional people. That's fair. The main house and casita was deemed clear. Good job. I then walked around the side of the house and off property. The incident was recorded on my Axon body worn camera, and the video was uploaded to evidence.com. Nothing further to report. All right. Investigation continues. Let's go to supplement 3. This is Anthony Silva, Scottsdale Police Department. Okay, very good. January 29th, working in my capacity as a Scottsdale Special Assignment Unit Detective. Ooh. SAU was tasked with assisting Maricopa County Attorney's Office with a service of a search warrant. Okay. At the location, I was wearing the regulation gray uniform with tactical vest, bearing police on the front and back, and operating my department-issued Axon body-worn camera. Very good. During a brief, MCAO explained that a subject identified as Laura was residing in a casita on this property. MCAO detectives further explained there was probable cause for Owens' arrest for perjury, tampering with evidence, and theft by extortion. It should be noted that although there was probable cause to arrest Owens, SAU was simply tasked with securing the location and briefly detaining Owens, so MCAO law enforcement officers could conduct a search of the listed residence for evidence. Oh boy. And it's going to be a while before we if we ever figure out what this evidence that they seized was. But I'm sure they were looking for phones, tablets, laptops that Laura may have used. Anything else that could have been related to the case. All right. At approximately 6:45 hours, I drove my unmarked vehicle to the address listed above. I exited my vehicle and approached the residence on foot. I mean, okay, he didn't have to bust out the skateboard or anything. That's kind of amazing. Okay. Oh, we've got a question here. Nick is here. Nick misses all the fun stuff. Well, it's not too late. I mean, there's a lot of repetition in some of these filings, so don't worry about it. Let's see. Oh, this is a good comment. I feel like we've heard this officer's name before. Yeah, it'll be interesting to cross-list some of the old police reports that Laura had called in on Greg Gillespie and Clayton Eckert in Arizona with these officers' names to see if any of them are the same. I imagine the number of total detectives in the county is probably, it's not like there's a million of these guys running around, or men and women of law enforcement, as they say on Cops. Bruce, are you surprised she didn't write about police brutality in her Medium blog? I'm actually a little surprised there isn't a Medium blog about this event that she wrote, like, I don't know, surviving the police brutality, it needs more alliteration though. But anyway, before dawn, the police broke my spirit before the sun broke over the horizon. Or see, you can make a bunch of literary statements like that. It would be very interesting. So I am surprised. Yes. Let's see. What else do we got here? Okay. Let's get back to it. I was tasked with covering a gate located on the north side of the property. Ooh, covering the gate. Yeah, we don't want a runner. Watch for runners. While other SAU detectives knocked on the front door. Shortly after, SAU detectives contacted an elderly female at the front door who goes by the name of Jan, who opened the door for detectives. The way this is written is kind of funny. They contacted a female who goes by the name of Jan. Sure, Jan. I remained by the north side gate while SAU detectives entered the residence. Shortly after, I entered the residence to assist with the clearing of the residence. Very good. Lastly, other SAU detectives made contact with Owens in the casita located in the backyard. I was able to hear via radio that Owens was refusing to exit the casita. Oh boy. After a few minutes, Owens called her attorney and shortly after came out of the casita. So it sounds like she didn't come out of the casita and unlock the door, the sliding glass door, until she talked to her attorney. I assume at this point in time in January, her attorney, this was David Gingras. So apparently he convinced her to exit the casita peacefully. Owens was escorted into the main residence living room. It should be noted that Owens was erratic the entire time by claiming we were not the real police. Oh my goodness. Um, like, did she schedule like the male strippers that dress up like police officers or something? Is that what she thought was going on? Anyway, complaining about how early it was. I mean, oh man. I mean, they could have done this thing at like 3 a.m. or something. I mean, who knows? Like it's almost 7 a.m. She should be up doing yard work, I'm telling you, or something like writing in her journal. I don't know. And lastly, state she was being unreasonably assaulted by police. Oh, there's that unreasonable assault again. I don't know. I mean, if you don't comply with the police's instructions, they will make you comply. That's not assault. That is police compliance. Okay, from my view, I did not observe Detective Crown, who escorted Owens inside with no handcuffs, forcibly escort Owens into the structure. Okay, so there was no forcible escort. There were no handcuffs, nor did I see Detective Crown use any force despite allegations from Owens. Okay, so no force, no assault, no handcuffs. Okay, that's fine. They're being very reasonable here with her, guys. They're being very reasonable. Let's see. Cat Lady says, does she go to Barry's early in the morning, like 6 a.m.? Yeah. Imagine if she had been at the gym and they were like, oh, she's at the gym right now. Sorry, you'll have to come back later. That would have been rough for the officers, I think. Oh my gosh. The scene was turned over to the investigators from MCAO. That's Maricopa County Attorney's Office. And I had no further involvement in this case. Body worn camera footage was later uploaded to evidence.com. Very good. Okay, with all these different officers, there's probably like half a dozen or more views of this incident on these body cameras. Let's see who we've got here. Logan Crown. Okay, so Officer Crown is apparently the person who escorted Laura from the casita to the main house on January 29th at approximately 6:30 hours, while working as a detective on the Special Assignment Unit, wearing full regulation SPD uniform. Oh, full regulation, guys. Serious business. Gray tactical vest with large police placards. I was requested to assist MCSO in serving a search warrant. I was advised the suspect of the MCSO case, later identified as Laura, was living in a backyard casita on the property. I was also advised that though probable cause existed for her arrest, MCSO's priority was not to apprehend her, but was to search the property for evidence. Okay, so that's probably what they explained to everybody at this briefing is, hey, we're going to go there. There's going to be 2 buildings. These people are going to be there most likely. We're not going to arrest anyone unless we have to. And so they had a plan going in. So that's very organized. That's very good. Upon arrival, I assisted other detectives as they made contact with Laura at the sliding glass door to the casita. Laura had locked the security screen door and was refusing to exit after detectives had identified themselves as police and stated that they were in possession of a search warrant for the property. Laura appeared very upset and began stating multiple times that our weapons were drawn at her. Whoa. It should be noted that at no time did I point a weapon at Laura. My city-issued handgun remained holstered at all times. Okay, that's reasonable. And my city-issued rifle remained slung and safely pointed at the ground. Okay, so this officer has a rifle over their shoulder and they have their sidearm holstered. Well, these guys came prepared. Wow. It is also important to note that I did not observe any other detective point any weapon at Laura. That's important. Okay. After arguing with detectives for some time and continuing to refuse to exit the building. Yeah, because we saw it was about from the timeline before, they were probably talking to her for like 7 minutes. Which if you just stand in your kitchen and watch the kitchen clock on your oven or something for 7 minutes and imagine arguing with police, that's like a long time. Laura contacted her attorney via phone, who advised her to cooperate with police orders. Okay. So presumably this is her attorney, Mr. Gingras, and he advised her to cooperate with police orders, which is very good of him to do that. Kudos to him for that. Laura then opened the security screen door, but still refused to exit until I took a hold of her right wrist and escorted her out. Oh boy. I then escorted her into the primary residence, where I had been instructed to take her to the front room to wait with her parents as the search was being conducted. I escorted her in the escort position with my right hand around her right wrist and my left hand on the back of her right tricep. Okay. Due to her erratic behavior and her initial refusal to comply with police commands, I continued escorting her in this position to ensure her safety and mine. As I was escorting her through the house to the front room, we passed the room that her handicapped father was in. Another detective was in the room with her father to assist him to the front room. And we read about that earlier in the other report. As we passed the open door to the room, Laura became very irate, shouting that her father could not walk and that he was handicapped. Okay. And the officer helped we saw in the other report, the father asked to go into the other room from the bedroom and had a walker. So this is interesting. As another detective and I attempted to explain to her that a detective was there to assist her father, right, she continued shouting over us and attempted to pull away from me. Oh my gosh, guys. So she's kind of exaggerating the condition of her father. I mean, obviously, her father probably needs assistance. He probably needs a walker, but her father asked to go into the other room. So I don't think that's unreasonable. Also, pulling away from the police officers, probably not a good idea. I advised Laura that if she did not cooperate, she would be placed in handcuffs. Oh my gosh. If you give a lady handcuffs, is it kind of like a dating contract, or is it like you're going steady? I don't know. Laura continued to shout at me. Oh boy, the shouting is ongoing, guys, and began stating that I was hurting her and that I was going to leave bruises on her arm. Oh, geez. She already knows that what? This is very speculative. It should be also, if you just comply with the officers and go peacefully, they don't have to escort you in the, the escort position here. Oh my gosh. It should be noted that I applied very little, if any, pressure to her arm as I was escorting her, as can be seen in my body-worn camera footage. Okay, so everything's caught on camera. If any of these officers have done anything untoward, it would be recorded on the body-worn camera footage. Okay, I applied only the needed amount of pressure to keep her from pulling away from me. After arguing with me for a short time, oh boy, Laura then walked to the front room where she joined her mother. I then exited the residence. This concludes my involvement in the matter. Portions of the incident were recorded on body-worn camera. Guys, I don't know what portions of the incident mean. Hopefully, the important part of the incident was captured on the camera. Maybe something like getting out of the car or walking up the driveway weren't recorded or something like that. We'll see. Who knows? See other detective supplements for further. Okay, but there's other cameras. There were like 12 people here, so there's a lot of cameras going on. Debbie says, can we see body cam footage of this? And as Schnitzel Ninja mentioned on Omar's stream, this is like a lot of cameras. So the county fees for requesting all this body camera footage is probably going to get up to like $600. We may do a little fundraiser or something like that. We will see to see if people want to see that. I mean, to me, I'm more interested in what evidence, number one, what evidence were they looking for from the original search warrant? What classification of material were they looking for? And then number two, what did they actually retrieve as evidence? Which I think, if this goes to a trial, we may see some of that evidence, but there's no guarantee we'll see any other evidence there. Okay, we're up to supplement 5. I think this is the final one. This is Ryan Sylvester, Detective Sylvester, Scottsdale Police Department, Special Assignments Unit. Yeah, Henrietta wants to see pictures of all the evidence collected. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm guessing a bunch of the evidence was things like phones, tablets, laptops, maybe desktop PCs or something like that. Pictures of those aren't going to be interesting. What's going to be interesting is when they forensically analyze those electronic devices. Now, if there's any physical evidence, clothing, paper documents, photographs that are on, printed paper. That'll be kind of interesting to see if there's anything like that. But again, they may have to go to trial before anything like that becomes publicly available or as part of a trial. On January 29th, I was working in my capacity as detective in the SAU. We were requested to assist in executing the search warrant at the address. MCAO detectives provided a search warrant brief explaining a female identified as Laura was residing in a detached living quarters within the property. Detached living quarters, a DLQ. That sounds like a fast food order. I would like 2 DLQ super value meals within the property. And her parents, Jan and Ron, lived in the main structure. MCAO detectives further explained that there was probable cause for Laura Owens' arrest. Okay, and Steph just renewed her YouTube membership. Thank you so much. That helps me out as I transition from Bruce from Oregon to Bruce the Moose as a moose on the loose in the world, a free agent on the run, but not out the side gate. No, don't do that. Let's see. Following the briefing, I drove my unmarked vehicle to the above listed address. I was dressed in my issued gray uniform with ballistic vest displaying police on the front and the back, a fully visible Scottsdale police badge. Oh, that's good. And wearing an SPD issued body worn camera. Very good. I was assigned to secure the rear of the property along with other SAU detectives. And after several search warrant announcements were made, my element entered the rear of the property through a side gate. Okay, so this is what I was wondering from before. They did go through the side gate in addition to going through the main house entrance. Okay. His element entered the rear. Oh dear. That is Moose After Dark. Once inside the back of the property, I observed the detached living quarters and saw a female inside, later confirmed to be Laura, inside. SAU detectives and I approached the living quarters, announcing our presence as Scottsdale police, and contacted Laura. We explained to Laura we had a search warrant for the property and directed her to exit the living quarters. Laura appeared upset, locked her door, and stated she wanted to call her lawyer. Okay. Laura then made a phone call and opened the door, at which time she was escorted out of the residence by Detective Crown and myself. Detective Crown then escorted Laura into the residence where her parents were waiting with MCAO detectives. While being escorted, Laura presented erratic behavior. Okay, and I think we saw that from Detective Cron's report, yelling at Detective Cron saying he was assaulting her. However, at no point did I observe Detective Cron use force on Laura. And sorry, guys, I have no idea how to pronounce this, the other detective's name, Cron or Crown. Once Laura was in the front living room with her mother, she was handed over to MCAO detectives, and I exited the residence. This concludes my involvement in the matter. Very good. Okay. So Detective Sylvester didn't have to do too much there other than be a additional officer on the scene with a body camera. Okay, very good. That brings us to the end of this document. Very interesting stuff, guys. Very interesting stuff. So we'll have to see in the future if there are more documents related to this that come out. Keep your eye again on the Justice for Clayton subreddit as new material may be obtained from the court or from the police department, the county, Maricopa County, and posted here by the intrepid investigators looking into the case. All right. Does anybody in chat, let's see, are there any questions we need to get to? Anything people have noticed? Otherwise, maybe we can read a few Reddit comments before we go just to see what people are saying. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Let's see if there's some questions. Meredith is dying to see the footage. I think the footage, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it's just going to be very consistent with this written report. But then again, some people are more like visual learners and some people are more, they want to read things. So, different people. That's why it's good to have the different material. Let's see, what else do we get? Even if we get no documentary, this will eventually be on YouTube and she'll be ridiculed for this. I mean, I think there are different teams looking at producing documentaries. So I think it's pretty likely that there will be a documentary of this case. Let's see, her new grift, suing the police department. Yeah, I think that's a dead end if the body cam footage is consistent with the officer testimony in these reports. It doesn't sound like anything that violated her rights happened here or anything like that. Oh, I'm thinking the body camera may not be complete in just, for Ron in his bedroom. Help. Oh, yeah. Like if he's in, night clothes or something. Yeah, exactly. You don't need to, you can redact things that are not relevant to the case for sure. Yeah. That's a good point, Teresa. So there may be something there that they can redact that we don't need. Let's see. The footage is going to be Laura-ing. Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh. Seems like she's always thinking about her next move, claiming assault and such. Yeah, exactly. Like with the comment about like, oh, this is going to leave bruises on my arm. Like, well, how do you know that? Like, we don't know. Not if he's using minimal force. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Gail at Night says, are YouTubers allowed to live stream the arraignment? I have to go back and read the minute order for the arraignment. And again, that's on Thursday, I believe. So we're just 2 days away from the scheduled arraignment. That would be Thursday. And arraignments in court begin. It's either 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. their local time there in Phoenix. But they call cases, so we don't know when exactly the arraignment would happen. But yeah, they basically say, they don't want people rebroadcasting live the arraignment feed if there's an arraignment feed. But you could go back and do commentary on it like this video I'm doing now, 30 minutes after the day's work. And I don't know if they mean like the day's work just for her case or for their entire docket for Thursday, but we will see. Now let's see, what are people also saying? Oh yeah, they can blur that part out. Yeah, so there may be things that would be good for them to blur out in terms of Laura's parents and all that jazz. That could be good. Okay. Teresa says I would pay extra to see the moon bump if they found it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, who knows if they searched through her clothing or something like that? I don't know. That's why, to me, it's more interesting to know what exactly was of interest in the search warrant itself, that the category of items that they're looking for that are applicable, because they can't just go into the house and take everything. Like they can't just take your stand mixer if they feel like it. There has to be a good reason to take the stand mixer. So they have to stick to the items in the search warrant. So we'll see that. Let's see. She's probably appearing via Zoom. Yeah, that's probably most likely. I think her lawyer said that in a tweet today. And yeah, he didn't swear at anybody in his tweet today. So I think maybe the guy's turning a new leaf or something, but you never know. Gail says, it seems like the order said we had to wait 20 minutes after the case is over, if I read that correctly. Yeah, there's something in there about that. And it's all fine. I mean, we'll all figure it out. We'll get the information. We'll see what happened. I think the most interesting stuff from the arraignment is going to be, do we know if she's represented by legal counsel, and who is that? Are they going to be there? Are they going to say anything? Is there some sort of bond that she has to pay in order to await trial? and how much is that? That's interesting. And then, of course, the big one, which is she going to plead not guilty, which is the most likely scenario given her last Medium blog. So there you go. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't demand DSG show up and support her. Well, if it's over Zoom, I don't think she needs him to be there. But in any case, and also, the guy's not a criminal attorney; he's a internet attorney or something like that. I don't know, but he's clearly laid out that he's not a criminal defense attorney. Okay, they have to give them an idea of what they want for the search warrant, of course. Okay, very good. Sarah wants to see the footage of her losing it. Man, I mean, reading the description of these reports, it sounds like an episode of Cops or something that just kind of, goes off the rails a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, the list of items would be very interesting. Do I think her new lawyer will be there for an arraignment? If it's over Zoom, I actually think probably not. She may have been advised. If she has counsel, they may just have advised her that, she may just need to go and listen to the reading of the charges and say, I'm pleading not guilty. And then they're like, okay, the bond is this, the date for trial is XYZ, modulo it moving around, of course. And then they're done. These things aren't very long. It's just a few minor details, I think, that'll be kind of interesting. Okay. Meredith says, I think her new defense attorney told Gingras to shut it down. Maybe. That's an interesting hypothesis. I wonder what Gingras thought when he got that phone call from the casita early in the morning that day. I mean, yeah, when you are more of a, the type of cases he deals with are more like the internet and, state laws and federal laws dealing with statutes and even family law. Like, you don't expect phone calls at 7 a.m. Hey, the police are here. What do I do? Maybe in family law if there's some sort of custody dispute, but I would imagine that's probably a unique experience for him, for sure. I wonder if the new lawyer is going to explain to Laura that Gingras is the reason she's here. I mean, I don't know. If you read through the list of indictments, there are specific ones that predate his involvement in the case. Now, of course, his involvement in the case, led to all the theatrics on June 10th and filing an appeal and filing a motion for reconsideration and filing all these wild motions like motion to compel lunch and all that jazz and posting blogs and doing PR. And of course, so I can understand the argument there that none of that was good in any case. Let's see. Gingras says she retained a lawyer and it's not him. Yeah, you would need a criminal defense attorney for this type of case. Okay, maybe she said Zoom to deter people from showing up in person. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you can go on Zoom, why not just go on Zoom? These things don't take long. You'd be spending all day like driving to court and driving home for a 5-minute sort of thing. I don't know. What do I know? If there was a Zoom option, I'd probably use the Zoom option. In any case, let's see. Laura's the reason she is here. Yeah, and he helped make it worse. I agree with that. Let's see. Too bad we can't see who shows up if it's Zoom. Yeah, I don't know. She pulled away from a cop holding a rifle. Yeah, I mean, not holding it, but it was probably holstered over his back with a tight shoulder holster, I think is how they have those things mounted. Yeah, Stir Crazy's got a good point here, yet she still wrote Medium blogs after this raid. Yeah, the interesting thing about going back and looking at this case and the timeline of this case is to really understand, because we're talking about a search warrant police report from January 29th, 2025, 5 months ago at this point. And, everything that happened between then and now, like the Rachel Juarez interview and all that stuff, it happened after this search warrant was served. Like, That's an interesting context to put these events into. Oh my gosh, that's why these cases are so interesting. In any case, let's see. Cat Lady says, no, if she has counsel, they must be present. Ooh, this is good. Okay, so if she has retained counsel, they will be there too. So figuring out who that is will be very interesting. Verifying that. Pics of her new lawyers on Discord earlier. I hope they know what they're getting themselves into. Yeah. So I think some part of her summons was copied to a law firm. We will see if that is the representation that she has. If she has counsel signed on, they can't interact with her without an attorney. You mean the court can't interact with her? Like the judge? Okay, at an arraignment. All right. Very good. Okay. We will find out. All right. Let's see. Oh, I got to catch up on the comments. Okay. What else do we got here, guys? Let's see. Any other questions? Teresa says you might not need to know anything quite yet other than a plea. Well, yeah, I mean, because it makes sense to just go into an arraignment and say not guilty, because that puts you in a good position for negotiating, even if you are planning on eventually cutting some sort of plea deal, because it gives you the best starting hand, as it were. So I would be surprised if anything other than going in and pleading not guilty occurs in 2 days. Let's see. Meredith says, didn't she call the police on Clayton right after this raid? That is a good question. We are going to have to take a look at that and see if the dates line up in terms of other activity in this case, and take a look at the timeline and see what happened right after this January 29th event. Okay. The fact that she understands sensitive information, is able to keep things to herself, makes her media manifestos filled with lies even worse. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of delusion going on here. I think it's more psychological. Okay. Homeboy wore combat boots to the beach. That's a interesting scenario. Wasn't there a second search warrant executed in Easter Sunday? That's a good question. We're gonna have to go take a look at that. Definitely, that was around the time that she, I think, called in something against Clayton, and then wrote about it in a blog later. So we'll have to go look at the timeline and line it all up. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Schnitzel Ninja just put up a video of the 9/11 call from April of this year. Oh my gosh, guys. Should we go look for that? I don't think the window I'm sharing has audio, so I would need to change it. Should we look at it? What do you guys think? That's when she called 9/11 on Clayton. Oh my gosh. What do you guys think? Should we go search for this? Now Bruce missing the Laguna Beach reference. I don't know a Laguna Beach. Okay. People want to hear things. Amy wants to hear it. Let's check it out. Okay, I'm going to go back to my browser. I may have to change how I'm sharing so we can get the audio. Okay, is this on Justice for Clayton, guys? Let me know. Am I here? What is this, Game of Thrones? Okay, search warrant, police report. Oh, is it on her YouTube channel? I think we should let Schnitzel have the views. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Is there something here? Well, let's go find Schnitzel Ninja. If it's here, let's just no, this is okay. We got to go here. Latest videos. Latest. Is this it? Laura Owens reports OP violation of Scottsdale Police April 21st, 2025, 37 minutes ago. Okay, so this is here. It's only a minute long, guys. Go give Schnitzel Ninja the views and go listen to this. I'm going to get off this live and go listen to it myself. My window isn't even set up for that. Where'd my window even go? Is it even here? Oh yeah, it's here. Okay, it goes away when I minimize. That's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna go watch. It's on her YouTube. Okay, very good. This sounds good. All right, guys. Everybody go listen to the new police call, and we will see what happens next in the case. We will keep watching it. Usually I like to go and hang out with Omar or Lauren or something with these things, but I thought I wasn't paying very close attention to the document reading on Omar's stream because we were having a good time in chat. So I thought I'd just read through it myself, and I made a cool thumbnail. And I wanted to use my thumbnail. So okay, everybody says they're all going to watch it again anyway. But okay, I'm just going to get off the stream so I can go listen to this and pay attention to it. Thank you guys so much. If you've made it this far, I'm Bruce from Oregon, Bruce the Moose. This has been, what is this? Moose Crime Time. Okay, we're in a whole new phase of the case, guys. Moose Crime Time. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good night. Take it easy.